drugs, drugs, right now, especially like with the youth, that's like something else that really needs to be looked at. So, you know what I'm saying? Because it's
being glorified in the music.
Yo, man.
Weaponized.
And see, that's the whole thing, right? The drug, you see it, it's a very big change the last couple of years, right? In arts and music too, because drugs are always cool to do like musicians did, but you always knew that musicians did it to do the art, right? You excused it like they do it to do the art. But nowadays it's like, it doesn't matter though. That music is so shitty, it doesn't matter if they were high. They could do it anyway without the music. The music now is an ode to the drug, which means that the music could be made just in thought of the drug.
Well, also too, like the drug has become, has made to appear as if it's part of the culture, and in some contexts, right? Because like if you think of lean, there's a specific region that you think of.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And
Some of that is our fault,
and
though.
that shit is common.
Right?
Yeah, sure. I remember the first time I heard. Well, I can't remember the first time. I remember sipping on some scissor when that came out. I remember. Folks like dabbling in the ecstasy when, you know what I'm saying, folks started talking about it and seeing like their favorite artists or whatnot doing that, but then again, like, it's like the focus has been put on that so heavy over the last couple of years, including by artists that ain't even using them.
I'll say this though, I'll probably get more trolls though, because people love it, but I give a lot of that credit, and negative credit has to be given to weed. Absolutely, 100%.
So weed?
You said like
This is what I said.
a gateway drug, basically. You saying?
No, not for the addictive qualities or anything like that, right? Because I personally don't think weed is super healthy, right? It has its drawbacks, but what I'm saying is the weed, hip hop rhymed about weed, and one of the reasons that they said we're gonna keep talking about this drug because it stops us from glamorizing the other drugs. That was a real thing because cocaine was heavy in the beginning of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Coke was heavy and all that kind of shit, Curtis Blow, shit like that. Like that was part of the thing because they had never seen shit like that in those ciphers. And of course, coming out of the clubs though, you had, what was the two musics in the clubs though? If you go uptown and stuff like that, you had salsa and then you had disco coming in the club. So those are coming with certain drugs and shit, right? But the argument that they would give when they would be asked though would always be like, well, we're advocating this one, it's safer than other drugs. And in many ways it helped because you don't have a lot of drugs though, you don't have a lot of songs though that just, compared to what hip hop could talk about, right? And how much they drink it, you don't see like odes to Hennessy like for whole songs. And you could think of lines, but you can't think of like the Hennessy song, this song, right? But we could think of How to Roll a Blunt. Cypress Hill has a multitude of legendary songs, right? Hits from the bong, all this kind of shit, right? 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 They made the bong incredible. Like, if you didn't know what it was, you were like, what the fuck is a bong? Right? They made the bong a beat that shit sounded fire, right?
But the scissor, when you say the scissor, it comes from, it's a child of that, basically.
A child of all the weed stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because then it became something where it was like glory to the weed and there was worship of the weed.
I don't think that it
was. You know
what I'm saying?
I'm saying that as someone listening to it who doesn't smoke. And when I cover it though, I'm like, yo, there is a worship of weed. You know what I'm saying? And it was only going to be a matter of time before somebody and labels could redirect it and say, well, what about our drug that we're peddling? What about our fucking drug?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So when they do it though, it does do that. When they say, listen, we need to get Hennessy written more on these things. We get to say, with Hennessy got Hennessy got a GOAT candidate to talk about it in a calm, cool way. Because remember Nas.
Indeed. And we had Pastor Cavassier. We had Pastor Cavassier. It was a lot of songs. Right. And alcohol's always, you know what I'm saying, in the forefront and being so, hip hop's being used to sell alcohol for a long time.
Absolutely.
But I think when you look at cannabis, God, you know what I'm saying, when you look at weed for the longest time, because that shit just became legal, right? And it's even still in certain pockets is not. It's more like the rebelliousness of the people, like the nation. Like, yo, why is it that this is illegal? Why is it that this is, you know what I'm saying, we being arrested for this? And things like alcohol are being sold openly, and cigarettes and other things like that.
Right, and that
So
was
it's a
right.
certain
That
kind
was
of
that was
consciousness,
especially
too.
Cypress Hill, right? Because remember in that, if you remember, their liner notes used to have like facts about, like, from Black Sunday on. They used to have facts about, you know, about weed and shit like that, and they were, you know, they were the ones that were very articulate about it. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, like, even if it had good things, it gets bastardized too. You know, and that got bastardized as well, because you could just flip it to a different drug. You know, so I'm not saying it's absolute gateway drug, but I'm saying as far as the way marketers think about it and shit like that, because people forget, like, record labels actually absolutely 100% ask about particular topics. They ask artists for particular topics. You know what I'm saying? I was at labels where they asked them, where's the song about this? And why are you putting songs about this in there? You know what I'm saying? They ask about the topics that they want, you know? Just like when we go in the new, we get given a piece, though, we're being told what type of questions to ask to the person, you know? From the 2000s on, we were asking about this beef, ask about that beef. From 2000 on, no, that was the way you got a mission, you know? What's the angle here? What's the controversy? You know what I mean?
If Mega did this.